Hi, I'm Alan Ross. I'm here at the IEEE PES T&D, that's a lot of acronyms, conference. This is the 2020 version that is actually being held in 2022. These interviews that we're conducting is with thought leaders on the future of the power industry. So enjoy. Hi, my guest right now today is Camden Spiller. He is the CEO of Maddox Transformer, and we're going to get right into it. Cam, thanks for joining us.
Alan.
I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me here today. Appreciate
First
it.
question that we've got is, what does the future look like? What are the changes taking place? What are the trends that you see in the industry?
Okay, well, great. Well, it's kind of cliche to say it's a changing time, right? I mean, everybody knows that. I think the main things that we're seeing are changes in procurement, right? So it's the way people buy transformers, specifically. That's our little neck of the industry. And you used to be able to put a spec out there, get a few quotes and reasonable lead times, you'd have your equipment. Those days are not with us anymore.
Okay.
So stocking programs, having flexible specs, having specifications that can use more standardized equipment, or having equipment that can meet a variety of specifications. Either one of those angles.
So the Department of Energy, in part of their infrastructure bill, the part that they're dealing with, that's one of the things they're talking about is standardization, so that you can, if you have a transformer fail, even if you don't have a spare, there's one,
one
6
here.
miles away. Talk about. So that's a really big deal.
So it is, and a lot of the DOE interest there is going to be on our power, our transmission, our big transformers. But that's even trickling down to what we see in single phase, a 25 kVA single phase pad mount transformer. Those have about gone extinct in the supply chain. We're looking at 60-week lead times for some of those at many places. So there is a great opportunity to standardize in both transmission, GSU kind of equipment, and your standard pad mounts, your single phase, 3-phase transformers. So we see that progress slow, but we do see pressure even in the distribution transformer space. So
You said 60 months.
Oh yeah, 60 weeks.
60 weeks.
Now you get those sums. So our business is going to be in the 2,500 kVA to 10 MVA space. So that's where most of our visibility is. We call that the distribution space, right? So it's primarily 15 kV voltages, that kind of thing. But yeah, you'll see anywhere, depending on the transformer, from 40 to, we have some vendors right now quoting 80 weeks on a 2,500 kVA pad mount. Yeah, remarkable.
And most people are still living in the day that they thought they could order it and it come in. One of the things we're doing, I'm going to make a plug for IEEE now. The PES Grid Edge Committee. I'm on the steering committee for that. We're having a Grid Edge conference in April of next year in San Diego. Expected to be as big as this conference because now the action is at the grid level. It's the distribution level on down.
Well, those trends to increase focus on reliability. We've got to maintain our equipment better. We've got to it's easy to say we got to have more spares, right? But we've got to take better care of the equipment that we have.
So that begs a question, because most of the level, maybe not at the 10 VA level, but when a lot of the transformers you're talking about are considered run to failure transformers.
Right, sure, exactly.
However, without spares, you're going to run your system to failure, right?
Yes,
so
exactly.
How do you maintain them? What do you do to make sure that they last?
So the in-service maintenance, it comes down to monitoring. The good old GGA tests. This is something pioneered by guys like SD Myers, and these give us early warning and visibility on things that we wouldn't have otherwise. In this class of equipment, that is, if there's one thing, that's probably the one thing.
And right now there are a lot of new entrants into the hydrogen part of that GGA. I think a company, H2 Scan, is in almost every one of them. They're the Intel inside. And it's like the early warning system. If you see hydrogen, you see a problem. So cost effectively, you can actually now monitor those. That wasn't true in the past.
It hasn't been true, and we've seen that creep kind of into our world, the sub 10 MVA world, the below 10 MVA world. So increasing monitoring as the price of monitoring becomes more affordable, it becomes more prolific and available to smaller transformers. So, yeah.
Supply chain problems. That's
Sure.
kind of the world we're in right now.
Sure. So let's talk about that a little bit. We've obviously got challenges with getting electrical steel, and this is all across the world.
Yeah.
We've got labor shortages and then general inflation, but specifically inflation in labor costs
Right.
is hitting very hard. And it's kind of, it's a global problem, but it's kind of changing the landscape. We've had a number of years where, speaking specifically of transformer companies, the tariffs put in by the previous administration, which have stayed with us largely to this day, have kept out a lot of imported products, particularly Chinese products. Now the labor cost and the increasing domestic material costs have risen to the level where there's increasing parity between the domestically produced product and the tariff-carrying imported product. So we're seeing a lot more activity from the importers.
Tariff-carrying costs.
Sure,
That's a great way of putting it. If the cost parities come there because of tariffs in there, that is not an equilibrium that lasts forever.
No, it's not, and the market kind of finds a way. So that's probably one of the things we're seeing over the next couple of years is those tariffs being much less of a factor, even if they stay at their current rates.
Two of the biggest changes that we all know about: distributed energy resources, wind and solar,
of course, yes,
all of that, and electrification of transportation.
Of course, yes.
How do you see that affecting the industry?
Well, so the consumption of all the non-grain oriented steel that goes into those EV chargers is the biggest thing in my world. So that consumes all of what we need for grain oriented steel to make transformer cores.
Right.
That's all getting that production is getting consumed to the NGO, the non-grain oriented, which is required to produce all these EV chargers.
Now, what is Maddox doing about the future?
Yeah. So for us, it comes all about adapting to that change in procurement, where the guy building a project is no longer able to just go out there and throw out his spec and wait for that transformer to be built. We're stocking a greater breadth and depth than we've ever stocked before. So we have thousands of three-phase transformers in stock, ready to ship at a moment's notice.
Okay.
And that's just, gone are the days of just-in-time delivery and all. I mean, that's we don't even hear that.
But that
anymore.
sounds like just-in-time delivery. I mean,
it's a different way to do it, and it's to where we're building to stock instead of building to order. So we build to stock and then have that stock ready to go so that it is there just in time.
So you've got to have a relationship with your customers and your suppliers. I call that covenant relationships, where the trust level has got to be very high.
It does.
Any skip in it, you'll have transformers that people aren't buying, or people that want to buy transformers that you can't make.
Exactly. Yeah. No, that's a great way to put it. I like that. Covenant relationships. We are more dependent on each other than ever before.
That's excellent.
So. But that's how we respond to it. To take those peaks and valleys out of the supply chain woes, we create that buffer by keeping greater levels of inventory and significantly greater. Many acres of transformers just ready to find a home. So yeah.
How often do you drive by them and count and go, okay, find a home for these bad boys?
It's a lot. Yeah.
That's great.
But things are turning. Things move quicker than ever. So they don't stay there long.
And I think they're going to move quicker than ever. Once we really start to see some of the infrastructure money flow into some of these things you're talking about, because the feds know the same thing. You're a member of TMAA, right?
Yeah.
I just wrote a whole thing. We supported that grain-oriented steel.
Yes. Right. Yeah,
to be able to have more of it made in the United States.
Exactly. Yeah. Tell me, good response to the article so far. What's
great response to the article? People did not know what that meant. Why did we even push that forward, and why did we support it? And I'm a member of ASIT, the Institute of Steel Technology. And I first heard about that about literally 10 years ago at one of the conferences. And I thought, what in the world are they talking about? Grain-oriented steel. Anyway, that's a great organization to be part of.
I'm very grateful for your work on that. That's an important part of it. We have to be more. more independent. And that's, that probably kind of speaks to another trend that we see is a kind of an increase as the the global geopolitical scene becomes more turbulent. We see an increased activity in the American manufacturing sector. It only takes a small bit of that activity to change the power needs here in the U.S. And so we're already seeing that. So, it may be manufacturers for key pharmaceuticals, things like that, maybe it seems small to manufacture one drug here in the U.S., but the amount of jobs, the amount of energy consumption created just from small changes in the landscape like that have a profound effect.
Also, data centers, a lot of data centers that were offshore are being brought onshore. Their power demands are unique. And we're seeing, so everything that's kind of come back to basically because of cybersecurity, but more because of supply and demand.
Well, so you can speak to the data center segment in a couple ways. There is the traditional kind of mission critical data center. This is the Facebook, the Google, the Amazon kind of, all those kind of stuff, building them for years and will continue to do so. Then there's all of the cryptocurrency mining. So, so the exodus of Chinese miners in late 2020, early 2021 changed the landscape of particularly distribution transformers. That these guys are buying up. We put, I think, 800 megawatts online in the third quarter of 2021. So it's a tremendous, and that's just us, right? So it's a huge change from a very small sector. And that will continue to have an effect. We saw a lot of those guys move from China to Eastern Europe and North America. Now the guys that move to Eastern Europe are moving to North America. So it's, that cryptocurrency impact cannot be understated.
I should have bought Bitcoin when my son told me to buy Bitcoin, but I told him, hey, if you can't pull it out of the ground, it ain't mining. I was wrong. Last but not least, IEEE. You're here at IEEE. You've been doing it for a while.
Yes,
What are your thoughts about IEEE?
So we love IEEE. Everybody's here, right? This is the place to be, to connect with suppliers, customers, to connect with existing and new relationships. And if there's one thing we need to be in these times of supply chain challenges is open-minded, is being able to sit down, meet new folks, have a good conversation, understand their needs. How can I help you? What are our needs, and how can we work together? So that's why we're here at IEEE, and we've always enjoyed being a part of it, and appreciate the time.
Cam, thank you so much.
Thank you, Alan.
All right.
Take care.
Bye-bye.